Hello and welcome to another GCSE revision video, and in this video we're looking at the AQA GCSE 8300 series. This is the second paper in the higher tier. It's the November 2017 past papers. It is a calculator paper, so we are allowed to use calculators. And we're picking up in question 16, which reads, factorise fully 9y cubed minus 6y. Okay, so what can we do? Well, 9 and 6 both fall on the 3 times tables, so we can pull 3 out, and both of these terms have a y in it, so we can pull 3y out. So 3y into, well, 9y cubes divided by 3y, 9 divided by 3 is 3, and y cubed divided by 3 is just y squared. And then subtract 6y, 6y divided by 3y, well 6 divided by 3 is 2, and y divided by 3 is, y divided by y is 1, so 6y divided by 3y is just 2. And that is all we need to do for 2 marks. In 16b it says factorise 3x squared minus 22x plus 7. I think this lends itself easiest to the decomposition method. So what I'm going to do is multiply the 3 times the 7, and that makes 21. So I'm looking for factors of 21 that add up to negative 22. Well, if they're going to add up to negative 22, they're both going to need to be negative numbers. And the obvious one is negative 21 plus negative 1, because negative 21 plus negative 1 is negative 22, and 3 times 7 is 21. So let's do negative 21 minus 1. Because if we multiply these two together, we're going to get 21. So I can rewrite this expression as 3x squared minus 21x minus x plus 7. And now I can factorise the first half. I can pull 3x out of these two terms. So this is 3x. This is very similar to the exercise we did in part A. 3x into, so 3x into 3x squared is just x. So x times 3x is 3x squared. And we're pulling 3x out of negative 21x. So 21 or negative 21 divided by 3 is negative 7. And x divided by x is 1. So that's x minus 7. And now turning to the other part of the expression. Negative x plus 7, well, what can we pull out of that? Well, nothing really, but we can pull out a minus 1. If we pull out minus 1, we can turn the x term positive and the 7 term negative, which will be the same as the one we've already got in brackets. So if I say minus 1 times x minus 7, then I've got x minus 7 common to both terms. So I can now pull the x minus 7 out. So I've got x minus 7. Actually, I can just write that in the answers part. So that's x minus 7 into what's left is our 3x and our minus 1. Okay, I just want to give a word of warning here. It's sometimes tempting when you see these quadratic expressions to think of them as quadratic equations and to then to go on and to try and solve it. Well, you can't solve it because it doesn't equal anything. So if you just imagine that that equals naught and then you try and solve it, say x is equal to 7 or x is equal to 1/3. Yeah, okay, you've shown off what you know, but you're actually wrong to do it because they asked you to factorize an expression. They didn't ask you to solve an equation. So not only are you not going to get marked for that extra work that you did, if the examiner's feeling particularly churlish, they might even knock marks off because you tried to solve a quadratic equation instead of factorizing an expression like you were told to do. So don't be tempted to try and solve it. The question is only asking you to factorize it, and you'll note it doesn't equal anything, so don't imagine that it says equals 0. You don't know what it equals because it doesn't equal anything. Nothing's been said about what it equals. Okay, I hope you found that helpful. If you're taking your GCSEs this year, I'd like to wish you every success with your revision and every success with your exams, and I look forward to seeing you in another video.